Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kegel Show. I'm Don Agent, and I will be your host. With me today is Vernon Peterson. Really excited about this interview. Vernon's been a Kegel employee for over 14 years. He's got a pretty expansive resume on both the business end as well as the sports side of bowling. Vernon, can't thank you enough for coming out, man.
Thanks,
it's a
Don.
pleasure as always.
Always good to hang out with you, you know that.
Before we get this interview rolling, though, I'm going to give a quick shout out. I've changed flannel shirts. I want to thank Sarah French, my good friend in Fort Wayne, Indiana, for sending me this new flannel shirt. Most people that know me know that I like these flannels and sweaters. I'm constantly freezing in the air conditioning. But Vernon, this show is going to, kind of be difficult to keep, in an under 5-minute deal. So we're just going to kind of let this flow because, as I mentioned earlier, as we started talking, we've known each other for a lot of years. I mean, we could cover quite a few fascinating topics, in my opinion. But I'd like to kind of start out with, on the bowling side of it. Obviously, you've been on the industry side for quite some time, but you got into bowling as a child, like a lot of us did. I'd like you to kind of take us through a little bit of that journey, and also, at what point and what age did you really feel like, wow, a change has happened? I can be good at this. I can get better at this, and I want to be competitive to some degree.
Well, I started Saturday morning when I was 8 years old. The youth leagues on Saturday mornings, like every bowling center has, but I was playing several different sports in school, so didn't really take bowling that serious, but I loved it. When I got around 14, I got my first fingertip ball, started to get a little more competitive, then kept buying more balls, started getting newest and greatest. I was that guy, that kid.
And there weren't that many to pick from back then, at least.
No,
it was a little easier.
A lot easier, yeah. Not like today, so. And my parents were very supportive, especially my grandmother. And from there, I think I started bowling scratch tournaments when I was about finishing high school. And I actually finished last in one championship tournament. I want to say I was 19, actually. And my dad basically just gave me a choice because I thought I was getting good at it until I finished last in a tournament. My dad goes, do you want to get better, or is it going to be what you're going to be? Well, we decided to get better. And that summer I started working with Alita Sill up in Michigan.
Fantastic woman.
Her
and Michelle both, just wonderful people.
Yeah, at Old Satellite Bowl up there in Dearborn. And the next year I actually proceeded to win that championship tournament. So that's right when I really started, right around 1920, after working with Alita. That next year to 2 years I really felt that I could do it.
You had breached that to that next level, essentially.
I mean, I ended up winning like Bowl of the Year in MJMA and the JTBA of Ohio that year. So right then is when I really started to take it to the next level. And reactive balls were just coming out. Still throwing a urethane ball, Rhino Pro blue. I'll never forget it. That was the money ball. Start with reactive, go to that ball. This right there was when I took it to the next level. And I stayed a junior till they kicked me out.
Till the maximum. Absolutely. And
which is it's younger now than it was back then. I mean, I was there till I was 22. So I was kind of late as a competitive bowler compared to nowadays. I mean, we've
got a lot of 13, 14-year-old kids that are just, winding on it.
I mean, Cameron Doyle, what he cashed when he was 12 or 13 in a regional, something like that?
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. So you got 30 years, essentially, over 30 years throwing a ball. On a huge competitive level, which we'll get into a little bit later in the interview. But you've also got 26 years on the business end. I mentioned earlier, 14 of that being here. You started out at Fair Lanes. Was that correct there?
Fair Lanes School, yep.
Essentially up in Michigan. And, can you kind of walk us through a little bit of that journey on your industry decisions?
Yeah, basically it was, got out of high school. I love bowling. I was at the bowling center at least 5 days a week. And they said, hey, you want a job? I'm like, sure. About discounted bowling, can't beat that, right? So I was like, okay. I was at Fairland Score in Taylor. I was there for about 2 years doing porter, counter, you name it. If they needed, I did it. Run up and down the lanes, again, Deadwood.
Yep.
But then a friend of mine, this partners actually, Jimmy Gardner and Scott Williams, they actually made the Patriot Bowling Ball Award Scores Unlimited. They had a pro shop a couple blocks from Bowling Center. Hey, you want to get involved in a pro shop? And one of my best friends, Ty Krowski, was already working a pro shop. So I was already picking his brain. So I had the desire to learn more about bowling balls and get into the pro shop business. So I went to work for them, and off and on I worked for them pretty much till I was 20 till I was 30. I mean, we had a family business up there doing taxi cabs and buses. So between doing that, bowling, and working with Scotty and Jimmy for all those years, I just kept growing in it. The bowling kept getting better.
Sure.
So I was traveling more bowling, so I couldn't really make a commitment to full time all the time. But when I want to say it was 2003, I was in Vegas at the Mini Eliminator. Big John, Chartrand, Richard Shockley came out there. Hey, we're starting the Kegel Connection. Would you be interested? Cool, yeah. So at the time, with the family business, my grandma kind of encouraged me, maybe it's time for a change.
Which is very cool, because a lot of family businesses rely on people staying in that business in the family. So she obviously saw you possibly doing a different avenue in life.
And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I won't lie. I mean, I came down here. It was at a time I needed that change.
Sure.
I made a choice. At the time, the tour was going to go exempt, and I thought about it. But with the family business and that, I was kind of like, don't think my mind would be totally focused on tour. When you go out there, you're going to make money. You need to be focused on tour.
Tour's tough, and it was
Especially-
definitely tough back then.
Especially on exempt. I mean, it was tight.
Say, hey, I'm doing a life change. You're going to relocate to Florida, and you're in the same location, essentially,
Yeah.
Cypress Lanes. Mike Ducat, very good friend of ours, very top-notch proprietor all the way around. Kind of, why don't you give us a little kind of description of what it entails to run a Kegel Connection, because it's not really just a pro shop experience.
No, the whole Kegel Connection concept came from Big John Davis, was to bring the training center to the bowling centers, to the pro shops, to make the pro shop more of a mini training center. And we were fortunate enough I was the first one at Cypress Lanes, Michael Ducat. And that center has been ideal for us. I mean, it's a busy center between Mike and Marianne. That bowling center is busy. I mean, it's a different animal, really. But as a Kegel Connection, we're trying to teach the bowlers, not just put a ball in their hand and go, hey, we're done with you. No.
Sure.
We want them to know why we put that ball in their hand and how to use it.
You want to see him throw a ball first,
Of course, have to see him throw a ball. I mean, I hate during a tournament where you can't watch somebody throw a ball. You're going by an old ball. Or the fit might not be right. But I mean, we religiously make sure we watch them throw a ball, get an access point to give them the best layout that fits them and the best ball that fits them. But like we said, we're a teaching pro shop. We have Specto, which was originally the CAT system, that we can track them, see their speed, RPMs, how accurate they are.
Sure.
We really pride ourselves on giving lessons. When they come to get a ball, we offer them a lesson at an intro price. We use video to show them the flaws, so they can see what's going on. A lot of them have never really seen themselves bowl before on video.
Absolutely.
They're like, I do that. Like, yeah, you do.
A lot of them may have a left-right eye domination. They think they're hitting a certain mark, and they're really not until you can show them that, replay of that.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, we have all the greatest tools. We have the new torch. I mean, that's great for helping people see how to adjust to the break point and actually to make spares.
Absolutely.
And with us, we got a lot of senior bowlers at Cypress Lanes, and as their skills are kind of going down, we have to show them how they get it back up a little bit. Well, we'd love to get them back to the level they were before,
Sure.
but sometimes, I mean, when somebody's used to throw 15, they're throwing a 12 now, it makes a difference.
Ball speed's a little bit different as we get older, obviously,
Yeah.
and some of those things you can fix, and
Yeah.
some you can't. It's just part of the
Really
process.
focus on them trying to make those spares, make it easy for them on spares.
All right, let me ask you this, since we'll change gears a little bit. Would you say that the knowledge that you have gained on the pro shop side of the industry, has been beneficial to you as a competitive bowler?
Oh, definitely.
Because, literally, and I've got a list here, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking mini eliminator you won. Team USA champion, World Team Challenges, multiple gold medals representing the country, multiple state titles. You've got an eagle, okay? Obviously, and trust me, that only scratches the surface, ladies and gentlemen. For you personally, what out of some of these, wonderful accomplishments was your probably proudest competitive moment?
Proudest competitive moment. I mean, the eagle is probably like the last thing on the bucket list.
Sure.
I mean, because it took me over 20 years to get it.
It's like the holy grail.
Exactly.
Yes.
You only get one chance every year at it, and when we did, we broke the record that was staying at the time for the series, and it was a big weight off my shoulders too.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, I really never went pro. I mean, I bowled some pro tournaments, but I do have regional titles.
You've beat a lot of the pros. I mean, you've won a lot of tournaments that professionals have competed in. I know you've got a large friendship base on that.
Oh, definitely, yeah. But I mean, the eagle was the holy grail, but nothing I think sticks in my mind more than representing Team USA and winning gold medal at FIQ American Zones in Santo Domingo.
I figured that was going to be one of your, representation of the country and just
hearing the national anthem. You see it in the Olympics, Pan Am Games. The tears are hard to hold back.
Absolutely.
I don't care what level it is, but when you get red, white, and blue on you, representing the country, it says USA, it's pretty remarkable.
I know it was always an incredible feeling when I was doing lanes at some of these events like World Men's, and then all of a sudden, so I'm watching, United States walk up on that podium and receive that medal. It's breathtaking experience without a doubt. I mean, that being said, you've bowled with, the best of the best. You bowled with Walter, you bowled with Pete, you bowled with some of the top amateurs that are now pros, some of the current amateurs. I know it's a tough one. If you had to lay out just a few specific, heroes, people you looked up to on the competitive side of the business?
Well, the first one would definitely be Pete Weber.
Okay.
I mean, I loved watching him growing up, and I was fortunate enough to bowl some team challenges with him and hang out with him a lot of times. Especially when it comes to Taylor, we would hang out.
Phenomenal player.
Phenomenal. Still to this day.
Phenomenal person.
Yeah. He can win at any level. I mean, he's so intense. I think that's what I like probably most about him. I mean, he gets that bad boy image, but it's his intensity, I think, that's kept him that competitive to this date.
Yeah, because he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. If you sit down with off the lab, he did it. It's just incredible.
The funniest one I can remember about Pete, and I think it might have made me realize what level I might have got to finally, was I bowled the World Games in 1997 in Finland, Finland. I got silver medal, lost to Gary Verbruggen.
Oh yeah, he was left-hander.
Yeah, tough lefty.
Tough player, man. Tough player.
Around that time, he was winning everything there too. Well, shortly after, Pete came to Taylor, bowled tour stop. He goes, "You won't believe what I saw when I think he was in Italy."
Okay.
I'm like, "What, Pete?" He's like, here I'm in Italy. I turn on TV and I see your ugly mug bowling. I'm like, "Really?" He was on Eurosport, which
That's
is like
fantastic.
ESPN. I'm like, he goes, "That was so cool." I'm like, and he said that, that's when I kind of realized, like, damn.
Norm Duke, I believe, was another one.
Oh, yeah, Norm is another hero of mine. I mean, his versatility on the lanes. I mean, I've seen him hook the lane. I've seen him play from 1-2 board, piping it to 25 board.
He can do some amazing things
God,
with his hand positions and with bowling balls, and he always has been able to.
And he bowled on our team with me and JJ in El Paso, to fill in for John Gaines, who was injured that year. And just being able to bowl those 9 games, crossing with him, I learned even a little more respect. I mean, we're picking off each other's brains, me and JJ involved. I mean, and to bowl with John, which is just amazing, and one of my best friends. But I mean, that tournament, I mean, to bowl with Norm was definitely an honor. And I mean, he's another one of my heroes growing up. I mean, I still can remember when he beat Earl for his first title. I think it was '83. I mean, I was only 10 years old. But I was just Saturday mornings watching it on ABC. But like I said, being so competitive still on both levels at his age, it's like him and Pete they never get old.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, they're able to compete on all levels. They're still out here bowling regionals with as we will say, the younger ones.
Yeah.
You know, if you had to, right off the top of your head, for the audience, pick one player that stands out for you the most, a youth bowler, and up and coming, that you would say to keep an eye out for.
That has not won yet, or has won?
Has not won.
Has not won yet. There was one kid that he doesn't bowl much anymore. Was Andrew Koff.
Oh God, yeah, he was good.
Yeah, that kid.
Yep, I remember him.
If I had put the name Phenom with it, it would have been him.
Far as natural.
I mean, but I respect. I mean, he's become went to Ivy League school, I think. No, where did he go? But he's focused on his future.
Sure.
I mean, very smart. His sister too.
But he had
Oh, he had so much talent. I remember when I first came to Kegel, he was, I think, 13 at the time.
Oh yeah, he's unbelievable. He bowled here a ton. All right, you mentioned earlier Italy with Pete. You know, being there watching you on TV, and obviously, you know, we've both had fortunate opportunity through bowling to travel across the country and all over this world. What have some of your experiences been on a global level, both on the lanes and off the lanes from a cultural standpoint, and integrating with different cultures and different peoples?
On the lanes, I would have to say, seeing Costa Rica, their bowlers evolve. My first year down there was 1998. I got invited down to La Raza. And Costa Rica became kind of second home to me in my heart.
Mm.
I mean, I go down there
Hey, you go every year. Yeah,
almost
exactly.
every year. Since 1998, I only missed a few years for La Raza. Mauricio down there and his family are like family to me. And I've worked with a lot of the bowlers, went down and worked with them, and seeing them evolve. I mean, I can know 3 of the kids that I worked with that have gone on to get college scholarships in the States.
That's fantastic.
And to see them evolve, and as the bowling center evolved too. I mean, originally, the Boliche Dent down there was an alley.
Mm.
I mean, they've turned it into a very beautiful center and built another beautiful center, Bolcarari. I mean, it just.
They're doing it right.
They're doing it right. I mean, they have great food. I mean, they have like 4-star restaurant food in there too. I mean, the food down is amazing.
Excellent place to have a tournament.
Oh yeah, definitely. And they do it right. I mean, the tournament they have, La Raza, is a fun. It's not for the money, but just camaraderie.
It gets a pretty good draw, doesn't it? I mean, Jason goes down there. Couch, I believe, hasn't he been down there?
Oh, yeah,
and you,
definitely.
and obviously, and a whole bunch of people.
I mean, and winning that tournament has meant a lot to me. I was able to win it a couple times, but like seeing them evolve. Because when I first went down there, I got off the plane the first time. I'm like, didn't really know anybody. I'm like, Detroit's looking a little bit better right now.
A little bit of shell shock there.
I guess.
Well, and let's roll into that. You know, how about some of the cultural experiences? I mean, you know, you've been to Egypt, you've been to Europe.
Yeah.
You know,
Egypt, that was amazing. I mean, to go see the pyramids, bowl outside. Actually, Big John had let me test lanes outside in front of the pyramids, was awesome. But being there during a terrorist attack, not far from there, was definitely.
Yeah.
It's a little scary.
We've traveled in some interesting times.
Yeah,
over
I
the years.
mean, the history being in Egypt was amazing. Going to South Africa, seeing, unfortunately, the troubles they had down there.
Sure.
In Johannesburg, but we went to Cape Town, was so beautiful.
A lot different than what we see on the news.
Oh, definitely.
You know,
I mean, we went on a safari. I mean, looking eye to eye with an elephant. Brian Angel's ham camera was going like this because this elephant's looking eye to eye with us. It's like, I mean, it's funny. That's one thing about bowling. Team USA or traveling the world is like, it's not going to the bowling centers. It's seeing the countries.
Absolutely.
I mean,
experiencing the food,
Oh,
the
food,
the
yeah,
people,
definitely.
the customs.
People,
I mean,
definitely.
you know, I always say peace through bowling. It seems like our industry on a global level is just one giant family.
well, and I think Bill Spigner actually just posted a picture recently on Facebook of the World Seniors. It's funny you make that comment of USA bowling right next to Russia.
Yeah, there you have it.
I mean, and I've seen it for years. I mean, back when I was on Team USA, like some of the Middle East countries would actually be bowling next to each other.
Absolutely. They got
But
along.
if they walk outside, they're supposed to be killing each other.
Mhm,
Out
yeah.
in the lanes,
It was totally different, totally different. You know, that also, along with your travels, I mean, you've done a lot of, you know, talking about Costa Rica, you've done a lot of coaching as well, you know, for Kegel, both abroad and here. Can you give us kind of, you know, some of those experiences?
Well, I've done a few camps for Kegel, like for Junior Gold over the years. We did a little clinic at the Mini Eliminator several years ago with Richard and Stephen Padilla.
Excellent.
It's a good time. Like I said, I've done several little clinics and coaching down in Costa Rica over the years, and it's, like I said, to see them, those bowlers evolve, the youth into adults now, it's been self-rewarding.
I was gonna say, it's gotta be a nice, good personal feeling, without a doubt. You know, what would be your biggest suggestion, I guess, for improving an existing pro shop and coaching experience in a bowling center today?
Biggest thing about coaching experience, have the technology. Unfortunately, it's going to cost you a few pennies, but you have to have the technology. I can't imagine going into a bowling center and not having Specto, where I can find out a person's speed, idea on the RPMs, how accurate they are. And first of all, just to show them what they think they're hitting and what they're hitting could be totally different.
Plus, you can assign them specific practice drills and things that they can literally focus on to get better at that.
You know, like I said, one of the best inventions that pro shop should have is the torch. It's not that expensive, and it's a very simple. The concept is like, you go back. Why didn't we think of it before?
Oh, it's phenomenal.
It's phenomenal.
And its simplicity, it's unbelievable. Gus and I traveled. We just finished our trade show run for the year just recently, and we traveled around with that thing. And if you haven't seen the torch, it's a pretty impressive tool. Whether you're a bowler, whether you're on the business side of it, is very, very useful.
Video. You put people on video. I mean, there's apps out there on iPads. So much easier for people to. I think it's called the coach's eye.
Sure.
It's great picture. You can have lines to help show people where their flaws might be or where they need to get better at.
I actually saw that up in Detroit. I did see that. That was a pretty cool system.
Yeah, I mean, it's come a long way since. Sean Klug brought it, I think, down to here originally.
Right. Yeah, because he was with Delora way back. He was ex-Team USA too, wasn't he?
Team USA coach, yep. Gosh, I remember. Bowler's Map.
Bowler's Map was another. Basically, anything that's going to make you get better at something, I think, is a necessity. Absolutely. All right, I got one last question for you, and also more so for the audience. What's something about you that you think most people wouldn't know, hobby-wise, or I mean, do you collect things?
Well, I'm definitely into sports, especially bowling history.
Okay.
I mean, I have a 300 pin that was given out in the 30s I got from my great grandmother.
Wow.
Stuff like that really fascinates me. Like going to Bowling Hall of Fame, I got to go to one of St. Louis. I really loved it.
Very cool.
I've been to the Pro Football Hall of Fame and College Football Hall of Fame. Next year when I go to Syracuse, I will go to the Baseball Hall of Fame.
So it's all sports history.
It's all sports history. I mean, I like history in general,
right.
But sports history for sure. I used to collect baseball cards, all the cards growing up. I mean,
as did I. I still got a bunch locked up.
I wish I
that
still
and
did.
comic books.
Comic books. I got the comic books towards the end, but baseball cards. My family had so many, and it's like the whole story is my parents. Yeah, my parents did it. Oh my God, I can't imagine how many cards that I've lost because of my parents. But the other thing is, if it's a sports or comics movie, I'll watch it.
You're in.
If it's even the worst, but I mean, as soon as it comes out, I see it coming out, so earmarking, it's on the list to watch. Especially as much as we fly, it's nice to get on a plane, you can watch it. So much you make the time to go by so much faster.
No doubt. Well, Vern, it was an absolute pleasure having you on, man, and I thank you for coming by.
That's my pleasure. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, keep those wrenches turning, and have a wonderful day.